We begin with some breaking news and the historic blizzard that's right now slamming into the Northeast, something the city hasn't seen in years. Over 2 feet of snow is expected in some places, and if you are listening to this while getting groceries, if you are listening to this in the car or while out with your friends, please go home. Right now, this city is motionless. It's super weird. It's like early COVID days. Streets, highways, bridges will be shut down to all traffic, including cars, trucks, scooters, and e-bikes, according to Mayor Mamdani. And in New Jersey, they are expecting up to 30 inches of snow in some areas. Keep in mind, this was a storm that was only projected to bring a few inches earlier in the week. And take a listen to our conversation with New Jersey Governor Mikey Sherrill. Joining us now is Democratic Governor of New Jersey, Mikey Sherrill. Governor, thank you so much for joining us, given all of the other demands on your time. We are now looking at whiteout conditions and up to 2 feet of snow in some areas. How is your administration helping?
We have been planning for this. We've had regular meetings all day to hone in on exactly what this storm is going to look like. And quite frankly, the conditions seem to be deteriorating. So what we're hearing for the first time in about 30 years, since 1996, we are going to have blizzards in all 21 counties, about a foot of snow across the state, more along the shore, about 2 feet there, high winds anywhere from 35 to 60 miles per hour. So this is going to be an incredibly dangerous storm. And New Jerseyans, while we experience a lot of snow, don't see a lot of these blizzard conditions. So what that means is in our last storm, which wasn't good, it was a pretty bad storm, the one we had less than a month ago. At that time, we saw about an inch of snow at times coming down. It felt very heavy. This will be at times 2 to 3 inches of snow an hour coming down. That is a whiteout type condition, especially with these high winds. I'm also incredibly concerned because this is a wet, heavy snow. And with these winds, we're looking at a lot of trees and branches coming down into power lines. Stay away from the power lines. Please call those into the utility companies as soon as you see any problems. If you don't have power, call that into the utility company immediately. We have over 5,000 utility workers we've called in with mutual aid from here and from other states to make sure we are ready to get people hooked up as quickly as possible. And finally, we have already implemented a travel ban for commercial vehicles. That started at 3. Light rail, as well as buses and access link, that stops at 6. Heavy rail, that's New Jersey Transit, that'll be stopping service at 9. And that is when the full travel ban goes into effect. So you need to be off the roads by 9 o'clock tonight until 7 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Governor, let me ask you about, you mentioned the previous snowstorm, and certainly here in New York City, right across the river, we still are dealing with some of the remnants of that. And there was a lot of backlog in basic services, whether it was collecting the trash and other just very basic services in the city. Had New Jersey recovered from that previous snowstorm that you mentioned? And what lessons have you learned from that that has better prepared you for what is coming down the pipe?
I was so impressed with the public workers here in New Jersey. We had a little more lead time on that storm. That, on Inauguration Day, we were already calling about the upcoming storm that took place on Sunday. So what we learned was that communication is key. We had a good battle tempo with all of the necessary departments, the state police, the Department of Transportation, New Jersey Transit, the Turnpike Authority, the BPU, the Bureau of Public Utilities, to make sure everyone understood what was happening across the state. We kept that up throughout the storm so we could surge resources where necessary. What I learned in the military was hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. And that's certainly what we're doing with those over 5,000 utility workers with the state police called in to help with this, with these emergencies. That last storm was a really bad storm, but I did not do a full motorist ban. That should tell people how bad I anticipate this getting. And to keep yourself safe, you need to stay off the roads. That will also keep our state troopers safe so they don't have to be digging you out as they're trying to protect people who truly have emergencies. That'll help our snow plowers, our salters get these roads cleared as quickly as possible, and our utility workers get where they need to go to get people back up and running as quickly as possible.
Governor, given how bad this could get tonight, are you concerned about the fact that DHS is in the midst of a shutdown and you may have to go to this administration for help, depending on what challenges may come to this region, and they may not be prepared to give it?
That is why we owe such a debt of gratitude to our DHS workers who are embedded in our emergency center. They're working without pay right now. And yet, like the good public servants they are here to serve the people of New Jersey, even when they themselves are being really poorly served by this administration.
Governor, given the harsh weather predictions, if the worst case scenario is realized, how soon do you think that the roads will be available and plowed for residents to go about their normal lives?
Well, people should be planning not to go to work first thing tomorrow morning. I have closed the state offices. People will be following their telework protocols. I know both my kids' schools have already been canceled for tomorrow. So I anticipate, unlike our last storm, we were really proud. We had a horrible storm, but we got down to pavement by Monday. That is not going to be the case. In fact, we have the travel ban in place until 7 a.m. tomorrow because we anticipate the snow will be coming down really strongly. It'll start to taper off throughout the day, but probably not end until into the afternoon. So again, people should not be planning to get to work right away, to continue to stay off those roads, leave them open for emergency workers, for utility workers, and those people that need to get around our state.
Governor, before we let you go, I have to ask you one question about the upcoming State of the Union, since your friend, the governor of Virginia, Abigail Spanberger, will be giving the Democratic response. What do you anticipate that she will talk about?
Knowing Abigail, I think she will be very centered on and focused on serving people, and probably draw a really sharp contrast to whatever it is the president will talk about, which, as I've seen him sort of speak the last few instances, it really hasn't been focused on jobs, on the economy, on driving costs down, on really serving the people of this country. In fact, it's usually very punitive. We see that here in New Jersey as he's tried to cancel illegally, and the courts forced him to stop that, the Gateway Tunnel funding, which could be responsible for almost 100,000 jobs in the region. I think Abigail is somebody who I know has been really focused on the people of Virginia and how she is going to take care of those federal workers who, remember, are now, some of them now not getting paid. She has been really focused on driving good jobs, on driving down costs, and making sure Virginia runs as well as possible. I think that's going to be a great contrast with a president who seems to be doing the opposite.
All right, Governor Mikey Sherrill of New Jersey. Governor, thank you so much, and our thanks to you and all the first responders working through the night to keep everyone in New Jersey safe. Thank you so much, and best of luck to you and all of the workers there.